Hi, boys and girls, chapter 22. Now, word gets out of what happened in chapter 21, that Achimelech the Kohen gave bread to David, and he gave him the sword of Goliath, and Saul finds out, and how do you think he feels? And David has escaped to the Philistines, to Gath. So now David realizes he is in deep doo-doo, and he has to escape, and he has to save his family. So his family was near Beit Lechem, the cave of Adullam. We're going to read about that soon. But he goes far away, and he takes his family to Moab. Okay, he goes to Moab. Now he has something to do in Moab, because Ruth HaMoaviyah is a member of the family. So he goes to Moab and tries to hide his family. Let's go and do this very interesting, fascinating chapter. Vayelech David misham vayimalet el me'arat Adullam. And David runs away into a cave called Me'arat Adullam. There is a set of caves between Beit Lechem and Yerushalayim. And everybody hears, so his family comes down to see him in Adullam. Vayit kaptzu elav kol ish matzok. And that's a play on words. Everybody who was in distress, everybody who had issues, who had tzarot, who had troubles, comes to join David in the caves. And everybody that was owed money, and people who are of bitter soul, heavy hearts, and all of them come to David, and he manages to gather 400 people. Remember, he needed bread. Vayelech David misham mitzpe Moav, and David runs away from Adullam, because it's a matter of time till Saul finds him. So he goes to Mitzpe Moab, the outlook of Moab. Vayomer el melech Moab, and he says to the king of Moab, Yetzena avi ve'imi itchem. Let my parents, they have nothing to do with this. Let my father and mother come to you on Moab. Remember where Moab is? On the other side of the Dead Sea. Until I find out what's cooking. Maya Seli Elohim. Notice he puts his faith in God. Vayenachem et pnei melech Moab, and he pleased the king of Moab. Vayeshvu imo kol yemei heyot David b'mtzuda, and they stayed with him so long as he was in the fortress. Vayomer Gad hanavi, and Gad the prophet says to David, you cannot stay here. You cannot remain in this fortress in Moab. Uvata el Eretz Yehuda, you have to go back to Judah, to Beit Lechem. And he came to a town called Ya'ar Charet, the forest of Cheret. The forest of Cheret. Vaishma Shaul ki noda David. And Shaul hears that David and the men who were with him have become known. Does that mean discovered? Or does that mean that they've become famous? V'Shaul yoshev ba'giv'ah tachat ha'eshel, and Saul is sitting on a hilltop under a tree, under a tamarisk tree. V'chanito beyado, and of course his trusty spear is in his hands, and all his servants are with him. Vayomer Shaul la'avadav hanitzavim alav, and Shaul says to all his servants who are with him, Shimuna, listen to me, bnei Yemini, the sons of the Yemenite, namely Benjamin. David will come, he will promise you fields, he will promise you vineyards, he will promise to make you officers, he will make all sorts of promise, but you have rebelled against me. And no one reveals to me when my son made a covenant with the son of Jesse. Everybody is betraying me. Saul is like a tragic hero. His own son is betraying him. He made a deal with David. And no one of you feels sorry for me or reveals to me that my son is fighting against me. He's rising up to lie and wait for this day. Vaya'an Doeg ha'edomi, the same Doeg we met at the last chapter. He comes up, he stands in front of the servants of Shaul, and he says, I saw Ben Yishai, the son of Yishai, David. He came to Nov, remember the city, to Achimelech ben Achituv the Kohen. Vayishal lo ba'Adonai. And he asked, he consulted with God, V'tzeidah natan lo, and he gave him bread, and he gave him the sword of Goliath. So here, Doeg, the Edomite, discloses everything that was given to David. Vayishlach hamelech likro et Achimelech, and the king had Achimelech, the priest, called Ve'et kol beit aviv kohanim, and all the kohanim in Nov, and all of them came to Saul. Now you could imagine, Saul feels betrayed. Big trouble coming. Vayomer Shaul Shmana ben Achituv. You listen to me, the son of Achituv. And he says, yes, your Lord. Vayomer elav Shaul. Lama kshartem alai ata uven Yishai. Why did you and David make a rebellion against me? Why did you give him bread? Why? How could you do that? How could you give him the sword? And Achimelech said, Umi bechol avadav ke David ne'eman. But King Saul, nobody is as loyal to you as David. And he is your son-in-law. And he is honored in your home. Hayom achiloti lishal lo ba'Elohim, chalila li. God forbid that I should betray you. Don't accuse me. Lo yadav decha bechol zot davar katan o gadol. I know nothing about all of these issues that you mentioned to me. Vayomer HaMelech, and the king says to the Kohen, Mot tamut Achimelech, ata v'chol beit avicha. You, the entire household, all of you, you guys are history. You guys are dead meat. Vayomer HaMelech laratzim anitzavim alav sovu va'amitu kohanei Adonai. You guys, all my officers, surround these priests and kill them all. Ki gam yadamim David, because they're siding with David, and they know that he is hiding, and they know that he is running away, and nobody told me. And they didn't want to hurt the priests. Vayomer HaMelech leDoeg. So the king says to Doeg, you go, surround them, kill every one of these rotten priests. And Doeg surrounds, and he kills the Kohanim, and he killed 85 of them. Each one of them was the linen of the ephod, like the breastplate that they were carriers. They were all Kohanim. Ve'et Nov ir HaKohanim hika lefi charev, and he killed the entire city of Nov, me'ish ad isha, me'olel ad yonek, shor, chamor, se lefi charev. He killed in Nov all the Kohanim, men, women, child, baby, ox, donkey, sheep, everybody he slaughtered. only one of them escapes, and his name is Eviatar, and you remember that name, it'll come up later, and Eviatar runs away, and he follows David. Remember that. The name will come up again. Vayaged Eviatar le David, and Eviatar says to David, Shaul killed all the priests of God. Vayomer David leEviatar, and David says to Eviatar, Yadati bayomahu, I knew on that day that Doeg Haedomi is going to squeal to Shaul. I knew that I'm in trouble. Shvaiti, stay with me. Al tira, don't be afraid, because Eviatar, whoever wants my life wants your life. Whoever wants your life wants my life. That's the end of the chapter.